The air hangs heavy in the narrow alley, thick with tension and the faint scent of rain on concrete. Jason and Justin Blackwood stand shoulder to shoulder, their identical faces set in calm determination despite the five figures slowly advancing toward them. The twins' backpacks rest against the brick wall behind them, abandoned when they realized retreat was no longer possible. "Nowhere to run now," sneers Reed Chapman, his pale face flushed with anticipation as he cracks his knuckles. His friends fan out in a practiced semicircle, cutting off any escape route. "You two have been ducking us for weeks." Jason's eyes meet Justin's for a fraction of a second, a silent conversation between brothers who have never needed words to understand each other. Their breathing synchronizes, almost imperceptible. Their stance shifts ever so slightly. They've been here before, though not in this alley. They've faced this moment in countless other forms. Before we go any further, we'd love to know where you're watching from. Drop a comment below with your city or country. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button to join our community of storytellers dedicated to Black voices and experiences. Now back to our story. 3 months earlier, sunshine streams through the windows of the Blackwood family home. It's a modest 2-story house on the east side of Riverdale, a neighborhood that straddles the invisible line between upper middle class and working class. The twins sit at the breakfast table, their 17-year-old frames devouring stacks of protein-rich pancakes prepared by their father, Dr. Gabriel Blackwood. "First day at Westlake Academy. You boys ready?" Dr. Blackwood asks, his deep voice carrying the slight accent of his Caribbean heritage. A respected neurologist at Riverdale General, he adjusts his glasses and eyes his sons with a mixture of pride and concern. "As ready as we'll ever be," Justin replies, the more talkative of the two. His fingers drum against the tabletop in a rhythm that betrays his nervous energy. Advanced placement across the board. "They didn't believe we were coming from public school." "That's because people make assumptions," their mother, Vanessa Blackwood, says as she enters the kitchen. Her law firm blazer is immaculate, her natural hair styled in an elegant updo that commands respect. "And you boys are going to shatter every last one of them." Jason, quieter and more introspective than his brother, nods. "That's the plan." He glances at the clock on the wall. "We should go. I want to find the AP Physics lab before homeroom." The twins move in unison, clearing their plates and grabbing their backpacks. Their movements are fluid, efficient, the result of 12 years of martial arts training under Master Tamura. As they head for the door, their mother calls after them. "Remember who you are," she says, the same words she's spoken on their first day of school every year since kindergarten. The twins turn, back straight, and respond in perfect harmony. "We are descendants of kings and scholars. We walk with dignity. We lead with wisdom." The ritual complete, they slip out the door and into the warm September morning, unaware that this day will set in motion a chain of events that will test everything they've learned, both in the dojo and beyond. Westlake Academy rises like a fortress of brick and ivy, its grounds meticulously manicured, its hallways gleaming with the privilege of private education. The twins navigate the space with practiced composure, despite the stares that follow them. In a student body of 400, the faces of color can be counted on 2 hands. "You feel that?" Justin murmurs as they locate their assigned lockers. Jason doesn't need to ask what his brother means. The weight of assumptions settling on their shoulders is familiar, the subtle surprise on teachers' faces when they check the twins' transcripts, the overly enthusiastic welcome from the diversity coordinator, the careful distance maintained by clusters of students who've known each other since preschool. "Just focus on why we're here," Jason replies, organizing his books with military precision. "The STEM program is worth it. Full ride to Riverdale University if we maintain our GPA." The morning passes without incident. The twins excel in their classes, answering questions with confidence born of rigorous study habits instilled by their parents. By lunch period, they've earned grudging respect from their teachers and curious glances from their peers. They find a table in the cafeteria, deliberately choosing one near the center rather than hiding along the edges. Visibility matters, a lesson from their grandfather, who refused to enter through back doors during the height of segregation. Mind if I join? A girl with bright copper hair and a spray of freckles stands beside their table, lunch tray in hand. Her name is Sophie Chan, half Chinese, half Irish, and entirely uninterested in the social hierarchy that governs most of Westlake. Please, Justin says, gesturing to the empty seat. You guys already have a reputation, Sophie informs them as she sits. The genius twins. Word is you corrected Mrs. Harrington's calculus equation in third period. Jason shrugs. It was a simple derivative error. At Westlake, correcting teachers is practically sacrilege, Sophie says with a grin. I like it. Their conversation flows easily, and soon they're joined by Raj Patel, a second-generation Indian American with a passion for robotics who's been Sophie's lab partner since freshman year. The four of them discuss the upcoming science fair when a shadow falls across their table. Reed Chapman stands there, flanked by two friends whose expensive watches and carefully disheveled hair mark them as members of Westlake's elite. Reed's father is the CEO of Chapman Industries, the largest employer in Riverdale. His family name adorns one of the school's buildings. You must be the scholarship cases, Reed says, his tone making the words sound dirty. Quite the diversity hire this year. The cafeteria quiets, nearby conversations dying as students tune in to the potential drama. Justin's jaw tightens, but Jason speaks first, his voice even. Actually, we're the Blackwood twins. I'm Jason, this is Justin. Nice to meet you. He extends his hand, not in submission but as a challenge, forcing Reed to either take it or publicly snub them. Reed ignores the outstretched hand. Word of advice, the east stairwell is senior territory. Find another route between classes. Last I checked, the student handbook doesn't assign stairwells by grade or legacy status, Justin replies, a hint of edge to his words. Reed's eyes narrow. The handbook doesn't cover a lot of things around here. You'd do well to learn the unwritten rules. We'll keep that in mind, Jason says, his calm unbroken. Something in Jason's steady gaze makes Reed shift his weight uncomfortably. He's not accustomed to being met with such composure. Whatever. Just stay out of my way. Reed turns to leave, then adds over his shoulder, both of you. After Reed and his friends retreat, Sophie lets out a low whistle. Congratulations. You've been officially noticed by Westlake royalty. Is he always like that? Justin asks. Raj nods. Reed's family donated the science building. He thinks that means he owns the school and everyone in it. He particularly dislikes anyone who might threaten his position at the top, Sophie adds. And you too, with your grades, your looks, and yes, your skin color. You're a walking threat to guys like him who've never had to work for anything. Jason and Justin exchange another of their wordless glances. They've dealt with prejudice before, but usually it was overt. Slurs from opposing teams at track meets, security guards following them in stores. This veiled hostility wrapped in privilege feels more insidious. That evening, the twins arrive at Master Tamura's dojo for their regular training session. The familiar scent of polished wood and clean mats centers them as they bow before entering the training floor. They change into their black belts, earned through years of dedication, and begin their warm-up routine. Master Tamura, a 70-year-old Japanese-American who survived the internment camps as a child, watches his prized students with knowing eyes. After they complete their kata, a synchronized dance of potential violence performed with graceful precision, he calls them over. Your energy is disturbed today, he says simply. The twins know better than to hide anything from their sensei. They describe their first day at Westlake, including the encounter with Reed. Master Tamura listens without interruption, then says, when you began training, what was the first lesson I taught you? That the greatest victory is the battle never fought, Justin recites. And the second lesson, the old man prompts. That we train not to attack, but to be so formidable that attack becomes unnecessary, Jason adds. Master Tamura nods, satisfied. These boys at your new school, they are ignorant of who you truly are. In their ignorance lies your advantage. He moves to the center of the mat. Come, we will practice the yielding bamboo sequence today. For the next hour, The twins learn to redirect force rather than meet it head-on, to bend without breaking, to turn an opponent's strength against them. By the time they finish, sweat soaking their uniforms, a sense of calm has replaced the tension they arrived with. Remember, Master Tamura says as they prepare to leave, you carry your training in every step, every breath. Not just the physical techniques, but the spirit behind them. Walk with peace, but be ready for war. The twins bow deeply to their teacher, understanding that his wisdom extends far beyond the confines of the dojo. Days pass at Westlake, and the twins establish a routine. They excel academically, gradually earning the respect of their teachers and a small circle of friends that includes Sophie, Raj, and a few other students who value intellect over social standing. But Reed's hostility grows with each passing day. What began as veiled comments escalates to deliberate shoulder checks in the hallway, books knocked from hands, whispered slurs when teachers aren't listening. Reed's inner circle follows his lead, creating an atmosphere of tension whenever the twins are nearby. You should report him, Sophie urges after witnessing Reed accidentally spill soda on Justin's physics project. And say what? Justin asks as he carefully dries the papers. That the son of Westlake's biggest donor is being mean to us? We've dealt with worse. That's not the point, Sophie insists. This isn't just regular bullying. There's something ugly behind it. Jason, who has been quietly observing, finally speaks. She's right, Justin. This isn't about us personally. Reed doesn't even know us. This is about what we represent. Justin sighs, knowing his brother is right. Let's give it another week. If it gets worse, we'll talk to the counselor. But before that week is up, the situation deteriorates. During gym class, Reed and his friends corner the twins in the locker room after everyone else has left. This time, they don't bother with subtle digs or plausible deniability. You know what my father says? Reed starts, blocking the exit. He says affirmative action is ruining this country. That people like you get handed opportunities you don't deserve while the rest of us have to compete fair and square. Jason keeps his expression neutral. Your father is entitled to his opinion. Excuse us, we'll be late for class. Reed plants a hand on Jason's chest, shoving him back. I'm not done talking to you. Justin steps forward, but Jason subtly signals him to stay calm. They've promised their parents and Master Tamura, no fighting, not unless absolutely necessary. We're not looking for trouble, Reed, Jason says evenly. Maybe trouble's looking for you. One of Reed's friends sneers. Maybe you should go back to whatever ghetto you crawled out of. Justin's eyes flash, and for a moment, it seems his composure might break. But years of discipline hold firm. Our father is the head of neurology at Riverdale General, he says coolly. Our mother is a partner at Wright and Associates law firm. We live on Maple Avenue. Any other assumptions you'd like corrected? Reed's face darkens with anger and something else, perhaps the realization that his targets won't be easily intimidated. Just because your parents managed to climb out of the gutter doesn't change what you are, he hisses. You don't belong here, and we're going to make sure you know it. The bell rings, breaking the standoff. Reed and his friends back away, but the threat lingers in the air like smoke. As they leave, Reed delivers one final warning. This isn't over. Not by a long shot. The twins remain in the locker room for a moment after the others leave, collecting themselves. We should have put them down right there, Justin mutters, his fists clenching and unclenching at his sides. Jason shakes his head. And prove what? That we're exactly what they think we are? Violence is what they want, Justin. It would justify everything they believe about us. Justin knows his brother is right, but the restraint chafes against his pride. How long do we keep turning the other cheek? Jason has no answer for that. The question has haunted Black Americans for generations. When to stand up, when to step back, when to fight, when to endure. It's a calculus their white peers will never have to compute. That night, the twins tell their parents about the escalating situation. Dr. Blackwood listens gravely while their mother paces the living room, her legal mind already formulating responses. Document everything, Vanessa advises. Times, dates, exactly what was said, who witnessed it. If we need to take this to the administration or the school board, we'll have our facts in order. And in the meantime, Justin asks, Dr. Blackwood places a hand on each of his son's shoulders. In the meantime, you continue to excel. Every test, every class, every day. Excellence is your protest. Excellence is your shield. The twins nod, having heard this wisdom all their lives. And, their father adds, his voice lower, you protect each other. Always. No matter what. In the following weeks, the situation at Westlake Academy settles into an uneasy rhythm. The twins continue to excel academically, their presence in the top percentile of every class becoming so expected that even the most skeptical teachers now nod with approval rather than surprise. Their small circle of friends grows slightly, welcoming a Lebanese girl named Dahlia, who plays first-chair violin, and Tyrell, one of the few other black students, who transferred the previous year. But as the twins' academic reputation flourishes, Reed's animosity festers. His attacks become more calculated, less impulsive, as if he's realized that mere intimidation won't work and has developed a new strategy. He and his friends now operate in the blind spots, moments when teachers turn away, corridors without cameras, comments whispered just below the threshold of others' hearing. One morning, Jason opens his locker to find an anonymous note with a crude drawing and a single word scrawled beneath it, leave. He crumples it without comment, but Justin sees the flash of contained anger in his brother's eyes. What number is that? Justin asks quietly. 15, Jason replies, referring to the tally they've been keeping of documented incidents. Not worth adding to the list. Justin disagrees, but respects his brother's judgment. They've agreed to only record the most significant events, those with witnesses or evidence, those that cross the line from mere harassment to threatening behavior. Their mother's legal pad is slowly filling with dates, times, and descriptions, a painful archive of persistent hatred. After school, the twins head to Master Tamura's dojo. The familiar routine of bowing in, warming up, and moving through their forms brings a sense of peace that's become increasingly rare at school. Today, Master Tamura has them working with the younger students, teaching a group of 8-year-olds the fundamentals of a simple blocking sequence. Jason kneels beside a small girl who can't seem to position her arm correctly. With gentle hands, he adjusts her stance, demonstrating the movement again at half speed. Like this, May. The block starts from your center, not just your arm. Your power comes from here. He places his palm lightly against her abdomen. The child's face lights up with understanding as she successfully executes the block. I did it. Yes, you did, Jason says, his serious expression warming into a smile. Now 5 more times to make sure it sticks. Across the room, Justin guides 2 boys through a partner drill, his voice firm but encouraging. Remember, the point isn't to hit each other. The point is to learn control. Power without control is just chaos. Master Tamura observes his senior students with approval. After class, when the younger children have been collected by their parents, he calls the twins to the small meditation room at the back of the dojo. They sit in seiza, the formal kneeling position, as he pours 3 cups of green tea, a ritual reserved for conversations of importance. I have been teaching for 53 years, Master Tamura begins, passing them each a cup with deliberate movements. In that time, I have seen many talented students, some with natural gifts, some who succeeded through determination alone. But rarely have I seen 2 who balance physical ability with spiritual understanding as you do. The twins bow slightly at the rare compliment. This situation at your school, it continues, he asks, though he already knows the answer. Justin nods. It's getting worse in some ways. More calculated. Master Tamura sips his tea thoughtfully. Tell me, do you know why I survived the internment camps when many others did not? The twins remained silent, sensing a teaching moment. Many died from despair as much as from poor conditions, the old man continues. They could not reconcile what was happening to them. American citizens, imprisoned for their ancestry. Their spirits broke before their bodies. He sets down his cup with precision. My father taught me something then that I have never forgotten. He said, those who hate us do not define us. How we respond to hatred, that is what defines us. Master Tamura's eyes, sharp despite his years, fix on each twin in turn. You have been given tools that others do not possess. Physical tools, yes, but more importantly, spiritual ones. The question isn't whether you could defeat these bullies. Of course you could. The question is what victory truly means. We understand, Sensei, Jason says. We're being careful. It is not caution I speak of, Master Tamura corrects. It is clarity. When the moment comes, and it will come, you must act with perfect clarity about why you fight and what you fight for. The conversation stays with the twins as they bike home in the gathering dusk. Their neighborhood is quiet, the grand old houses set back from tree-lined streets. As they turn onto their block, Justin suddenly brakes, throwing an arm out to stop his brother. Ahead, parked at the curb outside their house, is Reed's distinctive red sports car, a 17th birthday gift from his father that he never tires of mentioning. Reed leans against it with 3 friends, all watching the Blackwood home with predatory attention. What's he doing here? Justin whispers, tension radiating through his frame. Jason's expression darkens. Nothing good. He takes out his phone and quickly texts their parents, who should both be home by now. Before they can decide on a course of action, the front door opens, and their mother emerges. Vanessa Blackwood wears an expression that twins know well, the same one she wears in courtroom confrontations. She descends the front steps with measured strides, stopping at the edge of the property. "Can I help you boys?" Her voice carries clearly in the evening air, professional but with a dangerous edge. Reed straightens, momentarily caught off guard by the commanding presence of Vanessa Blackwood in her tailored suit and impeccable posture. But he recovers quickly, his smirk returning. "Just admiring the neighborhood, ma'am," he says with exaggerated politeness. "Funny, my dad says property values around here have been dropping lately." The implied threat isn't subtle. Neither is the way one of his friends tosses an empty soda can onto the Blackwoods' immaculate lawn. Vanessa's smile doesn't reach her eyes. "Reed Chapman, isn't it? I recognize you from your father's company photos. In fact, I believe our firms have crossed paths. Wright and Associates handled the discrimination lawsuit against Chapman Industries last year." Reed's smirk falters. "As I recall," she continues pleasantly, "the settlement was quite substantial. Your father might be interested to know that trespassing combined with verbal harassment carries significant legal consequences as well, especially when directed at a partner in the firm that already proved willing to take your family to court." The twins have reached their driveway now, positioning themselves on either side of their mother, a united front. "We weren't doing anything," one of Reed's friends protests weakly. Yet, Vanessa corrects. "And now you won't have the chance. I suggest you leave before I call both the police and your parents, in that order." For a tense moment, it seems Reed might escalate the situation. But Vanessa Blackwood's reputation isn't built on bluffs. With a final venomous glare at the twins, Reed gets into his car, his friends quickly following. The engine roars unnecessarily as he pulls away, tires squealing against the asphalt. Once they're gone, Justin exhales shakily. "That was incredible, Mom." "That," Vanessa says gravely, "was a warning. They came to our home, boys. This has gone beyond school rivalries." Inside, a family meeting is convened in the dining room. Dr. Blackwood listens intently as the situation is explained, his normally gentle expression hardening into concern. "We should go to the school administration tomorrow," he decides. "This has escalated to a level we can't ignore." "We've been documenting everything," Justin says. "Mom's been helping us keep records." Vanessa retrieves the legal pad and places it on the table. "I'd like to see them try to dismiss this pattern of behavior." Jason, who has been uncharacteristically quiet, finally speaks. "What if they do dismiss it?" Reed's family virtually owns the school. His father's eyes soften with understanding. "Then we escalate to the school board. If necessary, we go public. If necessary, we transfer you out. What we won't do is allow this to continue." "We don't want to transfer," both twins say simultaneously. "And you shouldn't have to," their mother agrees. "But your safety comes first." Later that night, unable to sleep, Jason slips out of bed and moves silently to the window seat that overlooks the backyard. The moon casts silver light across the garden their grandfather planted decades ago, illuminating the old maple tree where a weathered rope's swing still hangs. He hears Justin stir and isn't surprised when his brother joins him a moment later. "Remember when Grandpa taught us about Frederick Douglass?" Justin asks quietly, following Jason's gaze to the garden. Jason nods. Their grandfather, Solomon Blackwood, had been a civil rights activist in his youth and a history teacher for 40 years. Before dementia claimed his brilliant mind, he had filled the twins with stories of Black excellence and resistance. The garden had been his classroom as much as any school. "If there is no struggle, there is no progress," Jason quotes. "Power concedes nothing without a demand." "I've been thinking about what Master Tamura said," Justin continues. "About clarity. About knowing why we fight. We don't fight because of their hatred," Jason says with sudden certainty. "We fight despite it. We fight for what Grandpa and Master Tamura taught us. Dignity that can't be given or taken away because it comes from within." Justin nods slowly. "I just wish it didn't always have to be a fight." The next morning, the twins and their parents arrive at Westlake Academy an hour before classes begin. They're immediately shown to the principal's office, where Dr. Eleanor Wright, a stern woman in her 50s with carefully colored blonde hair, listens to their account with a professionally neutral expression. "These are very serious allegations," she says when they finish, looking over the meticulously documented incidents. "I want to assure you that Westlake has a zero-tolerance policy for bullying of any kind." "With all due respect, Dr. Wright," Vanessa says, "a policy is only as good as its enforcement. Our sons have been enduring this treatment for weeks, and it's now escalated to intimidation at our family home." Dr. Wright's lips thin slightly. "I understand your concern, Mrs. Blackwood. But regarding what happened at your home, that's a matter for local police, not school discipline. As for the other incidents, we'll need to investigate thoroughly. Many of these alleged events have no witnesses beyond your sons and Mr. Chapman's group." "Alleged events?" Dr. Blackwood repeats, his voice dangerously calm. "Are you suggesting our sons are lying?" "Not at all." The principal backpedals quickly. "But fairness requires hearing all sides before making judgments." "And in the meantime," Vanessa presses, "while you're investigating, we'll ensure the boys don't share classes or free periods," Dr. Wright offers. "And we'll have increased staff presence in the hallways between classes." It's a bureaucratic answer, designed to sound reasonable while committing to little. The twins exchange glances, recognizing that the burden of proof and patience will remain on their shoulders. As they leave the office, the first bell rings, signaling 15 minutes until classes begin. The hallways fill with students, curious eyes following the Blackwood family as they make their way toward the exit. "We'll handle this," Jason assures his parents at the front doors. "You've done everything you could." "We're not done," their father promises. "Not by a long shot." With reluctant goodbyes, their parents leave, and the twins turn to face the day ahead. They've missed AP chemistry, but their physics class doesn't start for another hour. By unspoken agreement, they head to the library to review the chapter they'll be covering. The library is nearly empty at this hour. The twins find a quiet table in the back, spreading out their notes. They're deep in concentration when a shadow falls across their textbooks. "Principal called me to her office." Reed's voice is low, vibrating with barely controlled rage. "Quite the story you made up. Quite the performance from your lawyer mommy." The twins look up, instantly alert. Reed stands alone for once, but his posture radiates dangerous intent. "It wasn't a story," Justin says evenly. "Just the truth, documented step by step." "You think you've won something?" Reed leans in, his voice a venomous whisper. "My father is on the phone with the board of trustees right now. Nothing will happen to me. Nothing ever does." "Maybe this time will be different," Jason suggests, his comic counterpoint to Reed's escalating anger. Reed's laugh holds no humor. "You still don't get it, do you? This isn't your world. You're just visitors here. Unwelcome ones. We've earned our place at this school," Justin says, a hint of his own anger finally breaking through. "Just like everyone else." "Did you?" Reed's eyes narrow. "Or did they need to fill a quota? 2 for the price of 1. Check the diversity box twice." Jason places a warning hand on his brother's arm, feeling the muscles tense beneath his fingers. We're not interested in this conversation, Reed. We have studying to do. Of course you do. Always the perfect students, aren't you? Never stepping out of line. Never fighting back. Reed's contempt is palpable. It must kill you, holding back all the time, pretending to be something you're not. The twins say nothing, their silence a wall Reed can't breach. This isn't over, Reed says finally, straightening. School can only protect you for so long. After he leaves, the twins sit in charged silence for several minutes. He's getting desperate, Justin observes. Coming alone like that, making direct threats. Jason nods. The question is whether desperation makes him more dangerous or more vulnerable. They didn't have to wait long for an answer. Later that day, as classes let out, they witness something that shifts the dynamic entirely. Reed and two of his friends have cornered Tyrell near the east stairwell. The one they'd been warned was senior territory. The younger boy's back is against the wall, his expression a mix of fear and defiance as Reed leans into his space. Think just because they're standing up to us, you can too? Reed is saying as the twins approach. Maybe you need a reminder of how things work around here. Tyrell catches sight of the twins over Reed's shoulder, relief flashing across his face. Leave me alone, Reed. I wasn't doing anything. You exist. That's enough. One of Reed's friends sneers, reaching out to shove Tyrell's shoulder. That's enough, Jason echoes, his voice cutting through the tension. Back off, Reed. Reed turns, his surprise quickly transforming into cruel delight. Well, if it isn't the dynamic duo. Coming to rescue your little friend? How touching. We're all just trying to get home, Justin says, his tone reasonable but firm. No need for this. Actually, there is, Reed counters. Tyrell here needs to learn the same lesson you two refuse to learn, that actions have consequences. He's been getting ideas, talking back in class, walking down this hallway like he belongs here. He does belong here, Jason states. We all do. Reed's face darkens. That's not for you to decide. It's not for you to decide either, Justin points out. Unless your name's on the admission committee now. Reed steps closer to the twins, his friends flanking him. The hallway has emptied, most students eager to start their weekend. No witnesses. No teachers. Just 6 boys and a choice. Tyrell, go home, Jason says without taking his eyes off Reed. We've got this. But, the younger boy begins. Now, Tyrell, Justin insists. Please. Reluctantly, Tyrell edges away from the wall and then breaks into a run, disappearing around the corner. Reed makes no move to stop him, his focus entirely on the twins now. Always the heroes, he mocks. Always so controlled. What I can't figure out is whether you're afraid of us or just too weak to do anything about it. For a fleeting moment, something shifts in Jason's expression, a glimpse of something ancient and dangerous behind his composed features. There's a difference between weakness and restraint, Reed. One I doubt you'll ever understand. Why don't you educate me then? Reed challenges, moving closer until he's mere inches from Jason's face. Unless you're all talk. Justin steps forward, shoulder to shoulder with his brother. Walk away, Reed. Last chance. Reed's response is a shove that sends Justin stumbling back a step. Make me. And with that, the fragile piece shatters. Reed throws a wild punch at Jason, who simply isn't there when the fist arrives, a subtle shift of weight, a minimal movement that nonetheless causes Reed to stumble forward, off balance. Justin sidesteps the lunge of one of Reed's friends, using the boy's momentum to direct him into the wall with a controlled guidance of his arm. The twins move with fluid precision, their movements economical and disciplined. They don't attack, they redirect, control, neutralize. One of Reed's friends charges Justin like a linebacker, only to find himself thrown over Justin's hip in a textbook judo move, landing hard on his back with a shocked exhale of breath. Reed recovers and comes at Jason again, fury making him reckless. Jason blocks the punch with a forearm, locks Reed's arm, and with a simple twist has the larger boy on his knees, face contorted in pain and disbelief. Stop. Now. Jason's voice is deadly quiet. Or I dislocate your shoulder. The entire confrontation has taken less than 30 seconds. Reed's 2 friends are on the ground, winded and stunned. Reed himself kneels in Jason's control, his expression a kaleidoscope of pain, shock, and dawning fear. "Who the hell are you people?" he gasps. Justin stands over them, not even breathing hard. "We told you from day one. We're the Blackwood twins. You just never bothered to find out what that means." If this story resonates with you so far, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue sharing these crucial stories of resilience and justice. Now let's see what happens next. In the silent aftermath of the confrontation, Jason carefully releases Reed's arm, stepping back with the practiced discipline of someone who understands the full weight of his own power. Reed scrambles to his feet, cradling his shoulder, his face flushed with a volatile mixture of humiliation and fear. "You're dead," he spits, but the threat rings hollow now. "You hear me? You're both dead." Justin shakes his head, almost pitying. "No, we're done. All of this ends today." Reed's friends have recovered enough to stand, hovering uncertainly behind their leader. The dynamic has shifted irrevocably, the predators suddenly finding themselves outmatched by what they thought was easy prey. "This isn't over," Reed insists, but he's already backing away, his bravado paper-thin. "Actually, it is," comes a new voice from the corridor entrance. All heads turn to see Dr. Wright standing there, arms folded, with Tyrell beside her. The principal's expression is unreadable as she surveys the scene. Reed and his friends disheveled and shaken, the twins composed and calm. "My office. All of you. Now." The walk to the administrative wing is tense and silent. Reed keeps as much distance as possible between himself and the twins, his earlier swagger replaced by wary sidelong glances. When they reach the principal's office, Dr. Wright gestures for Tyrell to wait outside while the others enter. "Sit," she commands, taking her place behind the imposing oak desk. "Mr. Patterson has given me his account of what happened. Now I want to hear from each of you." Reed jumps in first, his voice high with indignation. "They attacked us, Dr. Wright. Out of nowhere. We were just talking, and they went crazy." "Enough." The principal cuts him off with a raised hand. "Mr. Chapman, your version strains credibility given what I witnessed with my own eyes." She turns to the twins. "Your account, please." Jason speaks calmly, recounting how they intervened when they saw Reed and his friends threatening Tyrell, how Reed escalated to physical violence, and how they defended themselves with minimal force. "Minimal force?" one of Reed's friends exclaims. "They're like ninjas or something." Despite the tension, Justin's mouth quirks slightly. "Not ninjas. We've studied Aikido, Judo, and Karate since we were 5. We're black belts under Master Tamura." Dr. Wright's eyebrows rise. "The Master Tamura? The one who trained the Olympic team?" Jason nods. "Yes, ma'am." The principal leans back, reassessing the twins with new eyes. "And yet, in all these weeks of documented harassment, this is the first physical altercation. We were taught that fighting is the last resort," Justin explains. "We tried reporting the bullying through proper channels first." Dr. Wright's mouth tightens, a flicker of something like shame crossing her features before her professional mask returns. "Yes. Well, it seems I owe you both an apology for not taking your complaints more seriously." She turns to Reed and his friends. "As for you three, I've already called your parents. They're on their way. The school has a zero-tolerance policy for fighting, which normally would mean suspension for all involved." The twins exchange concerned glances. A suspension would damage their perfect records, potentially jeopardizing their scholarship opportunities. "However," Dr. Wright continues, "given the circumstances and what I personally witnessed, I'm making an exception. Mr. Chapman and his friends will be suspended for 2 weeks, with additional community service requirements upon their return. The Blackwood brothers will receive no disciplinary action, as they were clearly defending another student and themselves, using appropriate restraint." Reed's face contorts. "That's not fair. My father will." "Your father," Dr. Wright interrupts sharply, "has just been informed of the full pattern of behavior documented by the Blackwoods, including the incident at their home, which I understand the police have now been notified about. I believe he has more pressing concerns than contesting my disciplinary decision." Reed sinks back in his chair, deflated. For perhaps the first time in his life, his family name and wealth aren't enough to shield him from consequences. Now wait in the outer office for your parents. Dr. Wright instructs Reed and his friends. I need a moment with the Blackwoods. When the door closes behind them, the principal's stern expression softens. I failed you, she admits plainly. I prioritized the comfort of influential families over the safety and dignity of my students. That's not who I aspired to be when I became an educator. The twins, surprised by her candor, remain respectfully silent. Your restraint speaks volumes about your character, she continues. Most students, most people, with your abilities would have retaliated long before now, and far more destructively. She leans forward. I promise you this, things will change at Westlake. Starting today, the twins leave the office to find Tyrell waiting anxiously in the hallway. Are you guys okay? He asks. I ran to get help as soon as I could. We're fine, Jason assures him. Thanks for bringing Dr. Wright. I can't believe what I saw, Tyrell says, his voice hushed with awe. 1 minute they were coming at you, and the next, it was like something out of a movie. Justin smiles. Master Tamura would say it was nothing special, just proper technique after thousands of hours of practice. Will you teach me? Tyrell asks suddenly. Not to fight, but, to defend myself like that. The twins exchange thoughtful glances. Maybe, Jason says. But first, we should all probably go home. It's been a long day. Outside, the late afternoon sun casts long shadows across the campus. The twins walk in companionable silence until they reach their bikes at the rack. What do you think will happen now? Justin asks as they unlock their chains. Jason considers this. With Reed? Hard to say. Best case, this was a wake-up call. Worst case, he nurses his grudge and finds subtler ways to act on it. I meant with us, Justin clarifies. Everything feels different somehow. His brother nods in understanding. Because now they know. No more hiding what we can do, who we really are. Is that a bad thing? Jason swings onto his bike, balancing with practiced ease. I don't know, but I think Grandpa would say that truth, even uncomfortable truth, is always better than pretense. As they pedal home, the story comes full circle, returning to the beginning, but with crucial understanding that was missing before. 3 weeks later, the alley behind Westlake's gymnasium. The air hangs heavy with tension and the faint scent of rain on concrete. Jason and Justin Blackwood stand shoulder to shoulder, their identical faces set in calm determination despite the 5 figures slowly advancing toward them. But now we understand. These aren't the same 5 boys from before. Reed isn't among them. These are older students from a rival school, boys who've heard rumors about the Blackwood twins and have come to test their reputation, to see if the stories of their abilities are true. Nowhere to run now, says their leader, a tall senior with a wrestler's build. Jason's eyes meet Justin's for a fraction of a second. A silent conversation between brothers who have never needed words to understand each other. Their breathing synchronizes, almost imperceptible. Their stance shifts ever so slightly. But this time, there's no fear in their preparation, no uncertainty about whether they should fight or flee. There is only clarity, the clarity Master Tamura spoke of. They stand not because they're cornered, but because they've chosen this ground. They fight not from anger or pride, but from the centered knowledge of their own worth. You don't have to do this, Jason offers calmly. We're not looking for trouble. Funny, the leader smirks. Trouble found you anyway. Justin shakes his head. Last chance to walk away. The answer comes in the form of a lunge from one of the boys on the right. What follows isn't a brawl or a beatdown, but something more akin to a demonstration. The twins move with fluid precision, their years of training evident in every controlled counter, every redirected attack. They don't hurt the other boys so much as they render them harmless, immobilizing rather than injuring, controlling rather than crushing. In less than a minute, 4 of the 5 attackers are on the ground, dazed and winded. The leader remains standing, frozen in disbelief at how quickly his advantage evaporated. Like we said, Jason tells him quietly, we're not looking for trouble. The leader backs away, then turns and runs. After a moment, his friends stagger to their feet and follow, some casting fearful glances over their shoulders as they go. When they're alone in the alley, Justin dusts off his hands with a small smile. That's getting to be a habit. Hopefully not for long, Jason replies. Word will spread. And spread it does. In the days that follow, the story of the Blackwood twins transforms from whispers to open conversation. Some versions exaggerate wildly, claiming the twins fought off a dozen attackers, or that they learned their skills in a secret monastery. But the core truth remains. The calm, scholarly Blackwood brothers are not to be underestimated. Reed returns to school after his suspension a changed young man. The swagger is gone, replaced by a subdued demeanor that his friends find unsettling. He avoids the twins at first, taking alternate routes between classes, sitting far away in shared periods. But change rarely follows a straight line. 2 weeks after his return, Reed approaches the twins' lunch table, alone and visibly uncomfortable. Can I talk to you? He asks stiffly. Not here. Somewhere private. The twins exchange glances, silently assessing the sincerity of the request and any potential risk. Finding no deception, they nod and follow Reed to an empty classroom. Inside, Reed paces for a moment before stopping abruptly. My father made me see someone, he blurts out. A therapist. Twice a week since what happened. The twins wait, giving him space to continue. He says I have anger issues. And other issues. Reed swallows hard. About race. About people who are different from me. His eyes dart to the twins, then away. He says it comes from my father, from things I've heard all my life. But that doesn't make it okay. Jason studies him thoughtfully. Why are you telling us this? Because I'm supposed to make amends, Reed says, the words clearly rehearsed, but no less genuine for it. And because I think the therapist is right. I've been carrying around all this hatred. And for what? I don't even know you guys. Not really. Hatred hurts the hater most of all. Justin quotes softly. Our grandfather used to say that. Reed nods, a flicker of recognition in his eyes. Yeah, that's what I'm figuring out. He straightens his shoulders. Anyway, I wanted to say I'm sorry. For everything. The things I said, the way I treated you. It was wrong. The apology hangs in the air between them, fragile but real. After a long moment, Jason extends his hand, the same gesture Reed rejected on their first meeting. Apology accepted, he says simply. Reed hesitates, then takes the offered hand. It's a small moment, unremarkable to anyone who might glance through the classroom window. But in that handshake lies something profound, the first trembling step toward healing, toward seeing beyond the boundaries of skin and stereotype to the humanity beneath. I heard you guys might be starting some kind of self-defense class, Reed says as he releases Jason's hand. After school or something? Justin nods. Master Tamura is letting us use the community room at his dojo on Thursdays. It's not formal training, more like basic techniques for kids who are dealing with bullying. That's good, Reed says, a note of wistful admiration in his voice. You guys are good teachers, I bet. You could come, Jason offers suddenly, surprising both Reed and Justin. If you wanted to. Reed blinks, clearly taken aback. You'd let me? After everything. It's not about fighting, Justin explains. It's about learning control, respect, confidence. Things everyone can benefit from. Reed doesn't answer immediately, digesting the unexpected invitation. I'll think about it, he says finally. A month later, the community room of Master Tamura's dojo buzzes with activity. 20 students, ranging from Tyrell's age to seniors, spread out across the mats in neat rows. At the front, Jason and Justin demonstrate a simple wrist release, breaking down the movement step by step. Remember, the goal isn't to hurt your opponent, Justin explains. It's to create distance, to give yourself time to get help or get away. Strength isn't about domination, Jason adds. It's about protection of yourself and others. In the back row, Reed follows along carefully, his face a study in concentration as he practices with his partner, Tyrell, of all people. Their pairing raised eyebrows at first, but over the weeks, an awkward truce has evolved into something approaching cautious friendship. Master Tamura observes from the doorway, His aged face creased with quiet pride as he watches his senior students pass on not just techniques, but principles. The old man understands what the twins have discovered, that true mastery isn't measured in victories over others, but in transformation of the self and, by extension, the world around you. After class, as students filter out, the twins gather their belongings in comfortable silence. They've created something here, something that extends beyond physical defense to a larger lesson about standing firm in one's identity while building bridges across difference. "Grandpa would have loved this," Justin says, glancing around the now empty room. Jason nods, a rare full smile warming his serious features. "Master Tamura says we're ready to test for our next rank next month. Think we'll pass?" "I think," Jason replies thoughtfully, "that we already have." Outside, the setting sun gilds the world in amber light. The twins walk home side by side, their shadows stretching long behind them. Two young men who carry ancient wisdom in modern bodies, who've learned that the greatest battles are won not with fists, but with steadfast hearts and clear minds. In a world that too often mistakes violence for strength and dominance for power, they stand as living contradictions, warriors who fight for peace, young men who carry the weight of their ancestors' struggles while forging new paths toward reconciliation. They are the Blackwood twins, Jason and Justin. Black belt fighters, yes, but more importantly, builders of an unseen bridge spanning the chasms that divide us. Their story isn't one of victory through violence, but of triumph through principle. A reminder that true strength lies not in the ability to strike, but in the courage to stand firm in one's truth and the wisdom to know when and how to fight the battles that truly matter. As they reach their home, the porch light welcomes them back to where their journey began, to the family that taught them who they are, to the legacy they carry forward with each step, each breath, each choice to meet hatred not with more of the same, but with the revolutionary power of dignity, discipline, and a vision of a world where such battles need not be fought at all. If this story moved you, please give it a like and consider subscribing. We tell these stories to shine light on truth and hope, and your support helps keep them coming. What did you feel about this journey? Have you or someone you love experienced something similar? Share your thoughts or your own stories in the comments. Your voice matters in our community. Remember, the greatest power isn't in our ability to defeat others, but in our capacity to stand in our truth and extend a hand across divides. Thank you for joining us on this journey of resilience and justice. See you in the next video.